Good morning, Rinpoche.
Xin
Hi,
chào.
good morning. The website has changed.
Yes, Zoom changed because it have some problem, Rinpoche.
Yeah, I cannot access, so yeah.
Yeah, we are sorry about that, Rinpoche. Yeah,
To get in, but I could not get in, so I wondered what happened.
yeah, because as a very last
Yeah,
minute, Miss
some
Wang,
problem.
yeah,
Yeah, it's last
found,
minute problem. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it happens. That's okay. Mm, everyone can see me. Can hear me also?
Các đại hiệp có nhìn thấy thầy và có nghe thấy tiếng thầy nói không ạ? Yeah, I think that we can hear you clearly and see you very clearly, Rinpoche.
Sure, sure. Um, what about the voice? Is it clear?
Yeah, the voice is clear, but it sound not very happy, Rinpoche.
Yeah, I'm in a busy place right now. I'm traveling.
Yeah,
And I also don't have Wi-Fi. I don't know
ah,
how long my data will last.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but let's see.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we shall begin, yeah? 三言觉到这些说了蓝长久巴多大年的说起大地这些也别说了。说了北京的三业主播来说，三业觉到这些说了蓝长久巴多大年的说。大地这些也别说了见着了北京的三业主播来说，很少那些个的。So recently, I was in Thailand for the um, to celebrate the Losar, which is the New Year. You might have seen on my Facebook post. So it was it's called the Pali and Sanskrit Sangha exchange. So basically, Pali is the Theravada tradition, and then Sanskrit is the Mahayana and the Vajrayana tradition. So it's an exchange program between the two communities or two traditions that has been going on for the last 5 years, as part of His Holiness the Dalai Lama's vision. Celebrated the Lunar New Year. I mean, the program concluded on the lunar Tibetan New Year, actually, the 18th February. So these were the activities that I was engaging with, because it was very hot in Thailand, and then they put the air conditioner full blast. So I got common cold. So it's nothing serious. I just have cold because of that. When you go outside, there is no AC, but once you come in the hotel or in the venue, there's like the AC is like full blast, and I'm not used to that much of AC generally, so I always have that. Yeah, so that was the thing.
Yeah. You are sweating, Rinpoche. Are you
Yeah,
sweating there?
right now I'm at the lobby of a hotel,
Ah,
and there's no air conditioning.
I
Yeah,
see, I see.
and
Uh,
there's no AC, there's no Wi-Fi in the room, so I'm the lobby, and there's no, yeah.
I see.
Um, so these are just minor obstacles. Don't worry about it. Um, So I wanted to wish you all a very happy new year. Then for the upcoming new year. So that one of the main reason I agreed to do this teaching this session is to because it's the beginning of the new year. So I wanted to see all of you and wish you all a very happy new year and then all the best for the upcoming year. Mm. And so no matter every new year, the year is new, but we are almost the same. Um, and as a Dharma practitioner, our goal is to change ourselves, transform ourselves a little bit better. If not every day, but every year, becoming better, a little bit better, more calm, more peaceful, more kind, more compassionate person every year. Mm. So because of that, I'm so happy to see all of you on this new year. Mm. Mr. Hong, you also suffering from cold?
Yeah, I
And
have some cold, Rinpoche.
I think it's universal now. Be
It's
careful, okay? Take care of yourself, yeah.
yeah, thank you very much, Rinpoche.
Everyone take care of themselves. Mm. So some of you may know because you follow my Facebook. So when I went to Thailand, the teaching or the topic that I was requested to give was the words of my perfect teacher, which we finished 2 years back, right? So I finished that in 2 sessions. So they saw my class on YouTube, the one that I conducted with you, and then they requested that teaching. But I said this is like 400 something pages, but they really wanted to listen to that one. So I have to improvise and um, cut the book in 2 sessions, which is the ordinary preliminaries and the extraordinary preliminaries, and then share it with them. And then they really love that. So because I taught you for almost 2 years, I could summarize that in 2 sessions, which is about 4 hours. So for that, if you hadn't done the 2 years session, 2 years like teaching of the words of my perfect master before, then I won't be able to summarize in 2 hours.
Yeah,
It's basically 2 hours because there was a translation going on. So 2 + 2, right? So that's how it became 4. It was actually only 2 hours that I conducted the teaching of words of my perfect teacher. And then I presented the Mahayana Buddhist point of view or the Vajrayana point of view on how to practice, etc. And then the audience is very open-minded and very welcoming. And then they're also very intelligent, so they could comprehend the meaning. They could comprehend the topic of the book, and it was basically it's like a report that I'm giving to you. So all went very well. Oh yeah, okay. So the main thing was that I wanted to uh, share my gratitude. Thank you to all of you for giving me the opportunity to teach many Dharma talks, through which I have to do a lot of research and studies. And because of that, I could, yeah, it helped me in my own practice. So I want to share my gratitude to you all. So that the topic that we have been covering for last week, the week before that, sorry, is on the topic of 12 links of dependent origination. Yeah, the 12 links of dependent origination is very, very extremely important. Of course, all the teachings of Buddhas are important, but this one is extremely important. Especially Buddha himself said, so there was a quote, there's a line which goes something like, the one who sees the dependent origination sees the Dharma. So Dharma here means the ultimate reality. So the one who sees the dependent origination sees the ultimate truth. So the 12 links of dependent origination begins with ignorance, So not knowing or having a misguided conception, right? Not just not knowing, but actually having a wrong view, etc. So from the ignorance comes the action, volitional action. So karma, as we call it. So it can be positive karma, negative karma. For most of the time, it's negative because out of ignorance, we make wrong choice. When we are blind, we don't see the steps, and we take a wrong step, and we take a misstep, and then we make that's after that comes the birth, or comes the what do you call that? The consciousness. So if we talk about in the sense of life after death scenario, then the ignorance and karma. First comes ignorance, and from that ignorant mindset, you take a step, you make a misstep, you take a action which is a wrongful action or rightful action, and because of that, there will be a result, and the result comes in the form of not comes in the form of the result comes to the consciousness in the next life. So the first two, ignorance and karma, are part of the previous life, the first life, and then the rest is part of the second life. So one thing is that when we talk about the law of the 12 links of dependent origination, the 12 links of dependent origination can always be divided into two, this life and the next life, or previous life and this life. So it can be always be divided into two lives. The first two, dependent origination, ignorance and karma, comes into the previous life, and the rest comes in this life. So ignorance, from ignorance. So we have seen the picture, right? Ignorant is the blind man. So from the blind man, then comes the potter, the one who makes the pot. So if you are blind and you make a pot, the pot may not be perfect. It may not be perfectly rounded, perfectly shaped, etc. So you make a you have a ignorance, you have a wrong mental thought, and from that wrong mental thought, you also have a wrong physical manifestation, right? That's the karma. And now it takes form in the so all the positive karma and the negative karma, the accounting, it's like karma is like an accounting. So the good things and the bad things that you have done, it's all accumulated in within the stream of consciousness. So all the good things and the bad things are recorded in the stream of consciousness. And the stream of consciousness is the one that carries the bill, right? So when I say bill, like the bill for a hotel. So your negative karma and your positive karma. So these are all recorded on that bill, and then that is carried forward. So it's carried forward from this lifetime to the next life. So what you have accumulated in this lifetime, then you pay forward in the next lifetime. Okay. So I'm just simplifying things. It doesn't mean everything you do will be paid for in next lifetime. Many a times it can be this very lifetime itself. Not always in the next lifetime, but to simplify things, let's just say when you do something positive or negative, all the accountings are recorded on the consciousness, and then it's paid off in the next life. For simplification, you do it next lifetime. Yeah. So after that comes something for the name and the form, nama rupa. So form is basically a rupa, and then nama is the name body. So everything other than the physical body is called name. Name and form comes after that. So this is when the embryo starts forming in the mother's womb, etc. So this is called the name and form.
Yeah, và từ cái hành động của chúng ta, từ cái nghiệp của chúng ta thì sẽ sinh ra thức và danh sắc. Thức ở đây là chúng ta hiểu là cái dòng tương tục tâm thức của chúng ta, và danh sắc ở đây là gì? Cái tên và cái hình thức của chúng ta. Name ở đây đó là tên của chúng ta, và form ở đây là hình thức của chúng ta. Yeah, let's show that.
After that, the six sense faculties come, which is the eye sense, ear sense, nose sense, etc. You're able to smell, you're able to taste, you're able to touch, etc. And
Yeah.
after that comes the the contact, which means now you have the senses that you have the senses being built to experience the outside world, and after that you interact with the outside world. That's when the contact comes into play. And so with the contact in the outside world, then you are able to experience. You're able to experience the outside world, and when you experience the outside world, some of the things in the outside world you like, that is the pleasure. Some of the things in the outside world you don't like, that is the displeasure or the suffering or pain. So pain and pleasure. And then there's the neutral one, which you don't care about. That is when the feeling comes after that, like that.
Yeah.
So based on what you contact, based on what you touch. When you touch does not mean touch with your hand, touch with your eyes, that means seeing, touch with your nose, that's smelling. So when you touch something with your six senses, then you develop feelings towards them. I like this smell. I don't like that smell, etc. From the feeling which you like and you dislike, uh, I like smell, I don't like the taste, etc. From craving, you crave for when you like craving, and then when you start craving for something, then the more you taste it, the more you want it. So it's like the analogy for craving attachment is drinking salt water, sea water, ocean water, sea water to quench thirst. So you drink more, but you become more thirsty. So craving, attachment. So when you like something and you crave into that thing, and because as I said about the drinking ocean water to quench the thirst, so you wanted more and more and more of this. So basically, the craving becomes stronger. It goes deeper, and then that's called grasping. So the craving and grasping are both part of attachment. You are more and more deep. You go deeper into attachment because you like something, you want more of that, and when you have more of that, you cannot do without that thing. So like things like when you have an addiction, yeah? When you have an addiction, you do it first. You do it because you like it. Then an addiction develops. And then you cannot do without that thing. So that is when grasping comes in. Grasping. Yeah. So from that grasping, so you have the grasping. You want to experience this one. You don't want to experience that one. So you have your wants and don't wants, and your desire and your what you love and what you had and all this. And due to that, a world develops for you. A world that is suitable for you. Suitable meaning based on what you like and what you dislike, a world is formed. And that is called the becoming part. That is number 10. Becoming.
Yeah.
And then when a world is formed for you, so it's like having a house to live in. That is the world for you. And then when you have a new house, you move into that house. So that is the birth. And after birth, when you give birth, when you are born, from that moment onwards, you start aging. So the aging starts moment after. So it's like the expiry date. So aging is like an expiry date. The moment you produce something, then the expiry date starts rolling. Expiry time starts rolling. So if it's 24 years, 54 years, 100 years. So the moment you were born, the time starts counting like that. And then, so aging happens as you go along from birth to death. In between, the aging comes. So number 11 is aging. Number 11 is birth. Number 12 is aging and death. So aging and death comes together. The reason, even though there are two different things, but they are counted as one because there's a big reason behind that. Normally, what we try to think is that we become old when we are 60 years old or maybe 70, 80, like that. That's what we think. When we are 30, 40, we think we are not old, we are young. In a way, we are young. That's true. I mean, we are younger than some people, but we are older than others. And the most important thing is that the moment you were born, like when you were only 1 day old after being born from your mother, you start aging. So age is something that you start the moment you were born. It's not something that comes after you retire from your work, etc. Like that. And so to understand that, aging and death are put together. And it is to tell us that the death is not sudden. We always say, oh, my friend, he's so young, only 30 years old, he's just died so suddenly. He didn't die suddenly. It happened the moment he was born. Your friend who died 30 years, 35 years, 30 years old, the moment he was born, his expiry date started from that time onwards. So he died at 35 years old. He didn't die suddenly. He died because his time's up. Um, so from a purely, you know, uh, um, philosophical point of view, dependent origination, if you understand dependent origination, then you will be able to face death and downfalls more confidently. So that's the 12 links of dependent origination. Okay, so now I'm going to follow up with the next verse, which talks about the importance of this particular topic, the 12 links of dependent origination. So it's verse number 112, 112. So in Tibetan, Tenjin Jawar Chunde Kewa Yu Sungi Zogi Jeba Samote Kangi Dine Yang Ta Tongate Sangi Tinizigwa Namcho Tongs. So within the treasury of Buddha's words, there is no one so precious, so profound as this. And those who see that things dependently arise do see the Buddha, perfect knower of the truth. So basically, those who see dependent origination sees the Buddha. So what does that mean? The one who sees dependent origination, that sees the Buddha. Does it mean when you understand dependent origination, you will be able to see the physical body of the Shakyamuni Buddha who came to this world 2,600 years ago? Maybe you can see that, but that's not the main point here. Just by seeing the Buddha doesn't have much relevance if the Buddha cannot solve the problems the suffering that you are facing in samsara. So the meaning of the word Buddha means the awakened one. So here, what it means to see the Buddha means to see the awakened one, or to basically to awaken, or awaken also means to open up. So your mind will open up when you see the 12 links of dependent origination. So the meaning behind this word, those who see dependent origination will see the Buddha basically means when you understand dependent origination, your mind will open up. So when you understand the dependent origination, you see the cause and conditions of each thing. This is because of that. That is because of that. That is because of this. This is because of this. This is because of this. So when you know in today's time, what we call this is the perfect picture. You have the perfect picture. You know the whole thing, the background story, everything. So that's the 12 links of dependent origin. Oh, death doesn't come out of nowhere. Death comes from birth. Oh, birth comes from becoming. Becoming comes from grasping. Grasping comes from craving. And craving comes because there's a feeling. A feeling comes because there's contact. Contact comes because there's six senses. Six senses comes because there is name and form. Name and form comes because there's consciousness. And consciousness comes because there is karma. And karma comes because there's ignorance. So when you're able to go backwards, this because this because this, from that comes this, right? Because of this, that comes, that happens. When you know the whole story, then you understand that it's not just one thing that is that is making you unhappy, that is giving you trouble. So it's not one thing, but a chain of things, chain of reactions that is happening because of this and because of that. And because of all of that, that's why you are suffering. And when you know that part, then your anger, your attachment, all of your harsh negative emotions, strong negative emotions start calming down. So now if you're suffering due to the 12 links of dependent origination, and then if that means it's permanent damage, there is no solution to it, or is there a solution? Then to answer that question, the Buddha said there is a solution. The solution is to practice what is, there are many different types of practice, but in this particular case, the Buddha recommended something called the Noble Eightfold Path. There's a verse, now we will read the verse in Tibetan. 113. 杨大大到初到自我到强到顶子到到来大到杨大东尼那边啦，今年修的技能公布的 piece in English. Perfect view and livelihood with effort, mindfulness and concentration, perfect speech and conduct, perfect thought. The path's 8 limbs. To find true peace, please meditate on this. So the first one is the right view. So the two from the mentally, which is the right view and the right thought. So right view is understanding the truth through examining the truth by studying the Buddha's teaching and then examining the truth that is out there. So that is called the right view. Let's, for example, like the idea of impermanence, that nothing lasts forever. There's no such thing as eternity, or the ultimate truth of emptiness, and that bodhicitta leads to Buddhahood. So these are the forms of truth that you can realize through reading Buddha's teaching and then practicing on it. So that's like the right view. After that is the right thought. That is basically the right intention. So you may understand the truth, but if you have the wrong intention, instead of helping others, you're trying to take advantage of others and etc. That is wrong. So the next one is right intention. Right intention is to have right thought. Right thought means right intention, basically, to have the proper motivation to help others, to clear the suffering of that others are going through. That is the right thought. After that is the right speech. So right speech is to whatever when you use the speech, when you speak with someone, use the speech, use your voice to alleviate people's suffering, to help people from suffering, to help clear their doubts. So basically, use your voice to bring joy and goodness to others, and not to distort the conversation, not to take advantage of people. So that is the right speech. After that is right conduct. So right conduct is the physical expression. So right speech is the verbal expression. Right conduct is the physical expression. So when you do something, let's say when you talk with something or when you sit down, don't be disrespectful. Like when you're talking to someone, put your feet on the table, and the physical expression is proper. It's not harmful to others. It's not derogatory. You're not disrespecting someone. So physical expression in a proper manner is called the right conduct. So if you have any doubt, so basically the main thing is to make sure that your conduct, physical expression, physical conduct does not go against the 5 precepts. So the 5 precepts: killing, stealing, lying, sexual misconduct, and then so the four basic conducts now. So the 5th one is usually alcohol or intoxicants. So when you if your conduct is going contradictory to that one, then it's going to become you're not following the right conduct properly. Totally intoxicated, like drunk, then killing someone, lying, etc. So stealing, etc. So anything, if your activity, if your conduct is involved in any of these 5 basic vows, then it's not the right. It is not considered right conduct. So in order to be right conduct, you have to avoid these 5. After that comes the right livelihood. So the career that you have chosen, the work that you do, your livelihood, your day-to-day, your daily uh, work, uh, it should also be a right, mhm, right livelihood. So what that means, it should be according to the Dharma. Not It should not be anything harmful to others. So maybe indirectly we cannot control much, right? Um, but directly it should not be something that is directly against the Buddha Dharma. Mm. Then there's the right effort. Uh, right effort is basically the diligence that you put, the effort you put to Dharma practice. Whatever you do, you should always put Dharma practice as the uh, most important thing. What most of us, what we do is we have so many other things like our work, our family, etc. Everything is number one, and then we have some time. Then we will do some Dharma practice. Actually, the Dharma practice should be our priority, and everything else is part of the game. Like uh, when when we were going to a destination, when we are driving somewhere, our main goal is the destination that we are going to reach. We may stop for a restroom, we may stop at a hotel, this and that, but that is part of the journey, not necessarily the main goal. The main goal is to reach the destination safely. So, like that, the devotion and diligence to the Dharma practice or the following the Dharma is the most important thing. Mm. So, Dharma practice does not necessarily mean sitting in one place and doing prayer, chanting, meditating, etc. So Dharma practice basically means to follow the Dharma. What is the Dharma? The Dharma is to restrain from 10 negative deeds. The 10 negative deeds, killing, this and that, that um, three negative, three negative deeds mentally, four negative deeds verbally, and three negative deeds physically. So the 10 negative deeds. So avoid the 10 negative deeds and adopt the 10 positive deeds as much as you can. That is the teaching of the Buddha. That is the practice of the Dharma. So if you are chanting all day, but if you're cheating someone, lying to someone, killing, all these negative things, if you have been doing, then you are canceling out that merit. So it's not really helpful. Yeah. So following the Dharma basically means uh, to follow the 10 virtue deeds. That is and most importantly, of course, to wish, as a Mahayana practitioner, most important thing as a Dharma practitioner is to aspire to become enlightened for the sake of all sentient beings, to to alleviate uh, to to alleviate the suffering of other sentient beings. So that should be the main goal and main effort.
Yeah.
So next one is right mindfulness. So this is to be mindful. Now, so mindfulness basically means uh, bringing awareness when you are talking, when you are eating, when you are walking, every moment of your life, your day, you must be aware of what you are doing. So a lot of time, what we are doing is we are just engaging reactionary. So when someone says nice thing to you, immediately you're so happy. When someone says bad thing to you, immediately you are so sad or so angry, and you react right away. The key here is to be mindful. Just because someone says nice thing to you doesn't mean you're actually a good person. Just because someone says bad thing to you doesn't mean you are a bad person. Um, what what people tell you is their perception of you. They don't have the full picture of uh, who you are. So they are drawing your picture according to their capacity. Yeah, they're like an artist who draws you according to their capacity. It may be good, it may be perfect, it may be imperfect. So when we interact with the world without mindfulness, when we react immediately, uh, and then and based on our reactionary um, engagement, we suffer. Yeah? When we like something, say somebody says nice thing to us, or then we think that person is very good because he likes me, and then we start developing feelings, attachment, and all this to that person. And when someone says negative thing about you, just because that person said negative thing, then we started to develop um, anger and negative emotions toward that person, and we started to, then trouble comes. So either way, the other person's perception of you, is not a real you, but the real you is different from what they think of you, right? So, not to be reactionary, in order to be, in order not to be reactionary, you have to be mindful at all times. So if you are mindful, then you are aware what thoughts are going on. Is it that that thought is rightful with the Dharma or not, right? If that is against the Dharma, then you do not engage in it. If it is according to the Dharma, then you engage in it, like that. So that is the right mindfulness. Basically means to be aware at all times. What you're thinking, what you're saying, what comes from your mouth, what goes in your mind, and what action that your physical body is creating, generating. So the last one is the right concentration. So concentration, we're not talking about concentrating on just regular things, like when you are driving the car, when you're working, etc. We always concentrate. If you don't concentrate, you may end up in an accident, or you may end up taking the wrong step. And then anything in work, you have to do concentration. But here, we're not talking about that kind of concentration, okay? We're talking about concentrating the mind on um, the so concentrating the mind basically means to consolidate the mind, basically to make the mind one. What that means is, at the moment, our mind, whenever we are thinking of something, when we try to think on one thing, our mind jumps into another thing. So it keeps jumping and it keeps evolving. It always distracted. It's always distorted. It doesn't stick with one object. And so concentration here means to train the mind in such a way that the mind stays focused on one object and one object only. So it can be the object can be bodhicitta that you're concentrating on. It can be Buddha's image. It can be anything, but training your mind to stay concentrated, stay focused on one object. Think of like a magnifying glass. When you have the magnifying glass put under the sun, when you pinpoint it to one tiny spot on the grass, on the earth, on the grass, then it starts to burn it, right? But when it's when it's zoomed out, when it's panned out, then it cannot burn anything, even though the sun is very hot. But when you zoom in, when you try to make the focus very small, then it can burn the grass. So concentration here means the concentration of the mind uh, 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 onto one single object, so that it can burn, it can cut, it can. Okay, so that's the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so basically it's to do with the right intention, right thoughts, right intention, then the right speech, right conduct, and right livelihood. So it makes up in three settings: um, right thought, right speech, and right conduct. So right conduct and right livelihood is part of the physical thing. Right speech is verbal. Right thought is mental. And the last one is also the result, which is the right concentration or the right meditation. Okay, so I will conclude the class here. If you have questions, you can ask now. Otherwise, we will conclude now. Okay. So there's a few texts just to say thank you and congratulate and wish for the new year and all that. So thank you, everyone, for wishing. I think we can conclude now. Okay, so we will go to the dedication now. 夜晚的夜，要多那么三月这个连着我这个夜夜沙朗格巴拉说，我讲究先做节目，节目也把那么这个吧也把没把了，我那工作的我来说，也这样，这是。One born ôi mọi người cho mọi dễ sang hiện con trên kia rồi kiến giống nó tròn tròn để cho nói rồi hoàn để nói tròn tròn để cho nói rồi Tên bề nhìn bộ trên bề bề là xính nằm mong tổ biểu quyền là trang truyền bề lọc sáng trước kia tên gió cho bề trên kia cho trên tàng bằng sáng bề sổ
Rinpoche, on behalf of the member of the Dharma group of the Academy of the Ultimate Liberation, we would like to wish Rinpoche and all the member of the Sangha of the monastery always healthy, happy, and successful in all the Dharmic activity in the new year. And I would like to express our gratitude for Rinpoche for spending your time to teach us our precious Dharma. And on the occasion of the new year, we wish all of you very happy, very healthy, and successful. Thank you very much once again. Yeah. Chúc đức của tất cả
Thank you so much, Siwan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have a
once,
good time in
yeah,
Thailand.
thank you.
Rinpoche
Once again,
La.
I wish you all the best of the best. Okay?
Thầy chúc
Yeah.
enjoy Thailand, Rinpoche La. Enjoy the sun in Thailand.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Rinpoche La.
Yeah.
Cảm ơn em nhé.
Thank you so much.